Hi. Hello. Hi. Crazy. That's my friend Crazy. Let's play some video games. Hello, buddy. He's a good boy. Spring. It's still spring. Oh, shit. We got turnips today. Sorry. I hurt your face, buddy. Why did I put those in there? Interesting. Let's do some watering. Did that work, Crazy? Am I so desensitized to the farts that I didn't even hear it? Gretzky! Hello, my friend. Twig! Hello, Twig. Let's sell that holy mackerel, shall we? Beautiful. Okay, so what? I have a ton of money. I need to start thinking about some upgrades. And some animals. I need to start thinking about animals. On a road trip, safe travels, Brett. Hope you have a good time. I turn the game down. Jeez, you don't hopefully that's a little better. Let's run into town. I think I'll have to check it at the museum. I'm pretty sure we caught the river fish we needed in this, in the ocean fish. Maybe? Snowdrop anemone. Oh yeah, I've got all this stuff to do too. Let me find that anemone, because I think that's a spring flower. I've also got a shit ton of those things. You know, those things. Do I have enough? Oh, hey, look. Clear water fills the fountain. Drink some. Yes. Perfect. Who wouldn't want to just drink out of a random fountain that's blocked for years? Twig, how you doing, buddy? Functional. Um, sounds a little less than ideal, but could be worse, I suppose. Oh, no, that was dumb. That's a dive spot. A paper pond shell. Okay. So not only did I scare a fish away, turtle. Medicated until they can do surgery next month. Oops. Well, damn, Trey. So is this like a link thing? Or, I mean, maybe I wasn't paying attention, but it seemed like it was just kind of coming out of the blue. So that sea anemone has not grown back. Unfortunate. So let's see if I can find another one. Darian sword, a war military sword, likely from the War of the Lilies. Thank you for that. So yeah, the 2 pond fish, which I've just not been fortunate enough to catch. Are there any other ponds? Tiny. I don't think they're broken bread. I heard that one. But if you guys aren't hearing them, then I guess that doesn't matter, does it? wood. Hopefully that one came through. OBS seems to have indicated it came through. My tags trick worked. Hey. Okay, sorry. Right, fishing. Trying to fish. Any fishing? Nothing. Good one. Here we're back the sweet sounds of cheeks flapping in my ear holes. Okay. I appreciate the description. There's a smile on my face. Tiny, how you doing today, bud? And of course, the question on everybody's minds. What's on the menu? Ding dong. Happy to help. I'm exercising my vocabulary a bit before I get to editing the old dissertation. Well, you're doing a great job, Crazy. I hope you find this exercise to be helpful. I think of burgers for lunch. Don't know what to do for dinner. Leaning towards a spinach ravioli. I love how that's just like a maybe. Maybe we'll do a spinach ravioli. Hi, buddy. Oh, you're too far away. Red beans and rice. Yes. There's a lot of noises. Well, let's head back to the house. Sausage. Sausage. Bye-bye. 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 There's your good boy. Sleepy time. Yay! Saturday. Oh God, I forgot to do the. Oh well. Do it next week. Next Friday. I forgot to do the Friday night at the end thing, as I usually do. Water. Got some cherries and marmalade. saving these for, like, cooking or something. I need another chest. Actually, no, I don't. I mean, I do, but I don't. At least in the interim, I can stash some stuff in here. Let's go do some cooking. I bet that's that forageable that I need. But I haven't seen any of it. Excellent. It's money well spent. Faye, hello. Pie, hello. I'm sure it'll be fine, crazy. Up to that. So let's go drop it. Right. Hot coffee for your sleeper Saturday morning. Before the earthquake, Earl and I used to make a big pot of coffee before a long day in the mines. Don't tell Earl I said so, but Darcy's is so much better. I usually like Darcy's coffee with a bit of milk, but some mornings I prefer to drink it black. That's how I like my man hot and black. Last time Dell got coffee, she got so hyper she kept calling all my insects tiny dragons, and then she said she was turning into a dragon. Wow, just wow. Okay. Not every cup of tea is alike, but Darcy gets close. She must be very careful with how long she steeps it. My signature drink, hot chocolate, extra marshmallows. What? Same thing. It's a good drink. I generally recommend against stimulants, but the pleasure of coffee is undeniable. Want blue hair? Blue hair. Mom really wants me to talk Dell into a haircut, but I think that head look is part of her charm. Her always gets my fade just right. Lady Adeline and I are going to get our hair done together someday. She promised, yeah. When I was a younger thing, I used to keep my hair real short. It's been nice to grow it out and have Vera fuss over it. My hair was purple for a while back when I toured the band. Toured with the band. Fun to dye it again. Take a little trip down memory lane. I've got a hairstyle that just screams Derek today. I don't have hair. So, or can I take turns giving Mary a hand on market days? She got a lot of heavy furniture. It takes some muscle to arrange it all. It takes a bit of study to fish up aquatic artifacts, but they're worth the effort. Who knew a fishing rod could be part of an archaeologist's toolbox? For me to say. Derek, I'm going to shoot straight with you. Mary's got great couches, and I've got a great pun about being king of them, but Laura forbade me to say it. If I don't have what you want this week, check in next time. I'm always getting new pieces in. Hi, Julie. I have plenty of potion racks, but Mary's keeping an eye out for the vintage kind. Old things hold power, Derek. Are you an old thing, Junie? Are you an old thing? If Louie had an argument, and then if Louie had a garment you like, I suggest you act quickly. I might just snap it up myself. The first thing I did after Elon made me curator of the museum was to commission brand new clothes for Louie. It's a rule of thumb that a shirt's got to have a good collar. Old Louie understands that. He understands my taste in clothing, professional without sacrificing comfort. Louie always seems to have the color I want. How does he do that? between you and me, Louis, does not take well to haggling. Pay the youngster. Spring cleaning should start with your wardrobe, out with the old and in with the new. Is that right? Can I talk to you? Okay. Nope. This way. Actually, hold on 1 sec. Tiny jury look, my friend. Oh, snakehead. Okay. I'm gone so far as to buy the graduation regalia, so I think I'm still safe since I bought the frame, though I suddenly have a bunch of editing to do. I didn't actually buy it, did I forget that I... Okay. Okay. I forget that you have to click it and then buy it. It's not like these other games, which is a good mechanic. I kind of like that, because I've accidentally bought things in games too many times. But I just forget to do it sometimes. So I wanted this, right? Buy. Okay, now I've got it. Now I've got it. Let's gotta head on back here to the museum. Donate. Donate, yay! Farmer's boots. And latte. So I think the plan is to desperately try and catch these last 2 pondfish. We'll get some shit going on the first day of summer. That's the snowdrop thing I needed. And then we'll start working on resources for the mill and for some house upgrades and stuff. House and farm upgrades. I also think I need to get the shovel at some point so I can expand the size of that farmland. Who wanted that? There's so much stuff I'm supposed to be. Alright, Elsie wanted that. I also need to be on the lookout for these. There. And then who wanted that? Alright, Elin wanted one, Elsie wanted the other. Let's see. Here, Valen. I always get them mixed up. Here, Elsie. I was thinking of growing some myself, but I simply haven't found the time. I think these seeds are better off with you. Thanks. Spring flower. Right at the end of spring. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Alright, so we've got Eland over here. Wild berries, turn those in. Oh, the wild berries I asked for. Thank you. Here's my recipe for berries and cream. I hope you like it as much as I do. Berries and cream, berries and cream. Oh, it's on the ground. Right, sorry. Let me eat these real quick. Thank you. Pick that up. Thank you. Let's go back, sell some stuff, and then head to the pond. Padre. How you doing, buddy? As always, it is a pleasure to see you, my friend. Oh, you're going the wrong way. See if I can get you over from this side. Good work be done. How do we get? Excellent. I can't do two things at the same time. Fish. Soup. Right, soup. A brown trout. That's one of two. That's a turtle. Soup, how are you? Pleasure to see you as always. This is rude. We're gonna give you a fishing spot. You can't reach it. I'm gonna give it to you though. And there's one more day. Come back tomorrow. Maybe we can get lucky and get the last one. Have espresso with cream and good. Sounds amazing. So you. Nope. Sell you. Keep you. Sell you. You're such a good dog. Sea piece. It's my birthday. And it's raining. Silver fishing rod. What a delightful series of events. To the ponds. Just an angelfish. Just not what I'm looking for. It's a tetra. Also not what I'm looking for. There's a frog. That's a catfish. So that's the fish we're missing. Come here. Barb. Guys, I think we did it. Copper shovel. Aren't you a needy little girl? Yeah, it would be cool if we ended up on the last day actually finishing up all the spring stuff. Donate. Donate. Spring pond fish set. Yes! Alright, let's see. Archaeology. So I don't know that any of this is season specific. So, fish. We got. There's one multi-season fish left, but multi-season, right? So we got the spring river fish, the spring pond fish, and the spring ocean fish. How do we do on the bugs? We got the spring insect set. Now, it's possible some of this other stuff can only be caught in the spring, but... and we got all the spring foraging done. Sweet. We are ready for summer. Let me... try and get some copper real quick. Ding. I see you. I have been zapped. Might as well take these out because I need a shit ton of stone. Sap. Alright, so I'm out of inventory space. So of course I am. Yeah, little sus. Little sus. Do I want this mushroom? Oh. That is a cosmetic. Red toadstool. Oh. I did want that mushroom. Hit their spit back at them. Since I didn't think I'd ever say out loud.